I am in a little bit of traffic in between the Meadows in Washington, Pennsylvania, and Scioto, heading to Scioto. This is a pretty cool part of the drive. We go Pennsylvania, West Virginia, the tip of West Virginia, and then into Ohio. We'll be at Scioto in lots of time for my race. I think we're going to have to watch the first filly. Amy's going to have to watch the video, I guess, of the first filly because I don't think we're going to make it. But very, I wouldn't say happy. I knew Tiger wasn't going to be great today. I was hoping for a few things. What I did take away from today was I'm pretty sure White Tiger is morphed into a different horse. What I mean by that, it's not negative. It's not a bad thing. I let his hobbles out quite a bit in the post parade today, and they were too tight in the mile. That track's really loose. And if you look, when I moved him, I was climbing over the horse in front of me. I said, I know I got to be second to make it in the final. I want to time it so I can move him when the horse in the 3 hole's done, if I have to drop him behind. I moved him, I felt, at the right time, but he came with a full head of steam and then he fizzled out. So when he did, I'm thinking, but I can feel the hobbles are working so hard. Last year when White Tiger raced, he wore the hobbles very tight, but he used them. They didn't feel like they were on tight. He just worked. They worked with him, and he knew how to use them. And it might sound stupid to you, but I mean, the horse.
Welcome to West Virginia.
Welcome to West Virginia. The horse set a world record at the time. Now it's been broke, but he set a world record with the hobbles that tight, and they were much tighter than they were today. Now, if you remember, we trained White Tiger down without hobbles. We even tried to qualify them without them. The day we went to school him, he made a break. Then he made a break on Andrew. He's broke a couple of times, but mechanically, I think White Tiger's never been as good as he is right now. Mechanically, I believe 2 things happened. One, this heat. He was better today. We scoped him after. No blood. A little bit of allergy stuff. A little bit there. Nothing consequential. But the hobbles, I think, really tired this horse out today. So what we're going to do is we're going to take him home. We're going to take the hobbles off. I'm going to school him Tuesday. We're going to school and work on White Tiger until he's comfortable enough to race without the hobbles. That should take about a week, I think, since he did train down quite fast without them. What he needs to do is learn how to... The one thing he did today that we couldn't do all year was I did go to leave with him. I looked left. I said, 2 holes not going to be there. It's going to take some juice to get into the 3 hole. It's a 6 horse field. I opted to change my mind and moved him back into the 5 hole. If you remember, this is the horse that ran away with Dave Miller. You know, there was no take him back, leaving the gate. It was wide open until whenever. And now he's decided he understands. I just wrestled him back a little bit, didn't flip his pallet, didn't make a noise, no problems in that regard, and then I dropped him in the 5 hole. What we need to do is let him learn how to switch gears without hobbles on. Now I can put a set of belly band hobbles on him that are really long. Also, we can do that, but he has to learn to switch gears without that stability. Not something I want to be doing in the middle of, well, I guess not really in the middle of a stake season, but he's got a good 5 stakes left. Now some of those, it goes on money earnings and he probably won't get in, but there's still tons of racing left for White Tiger. He's sound, he's feeling good, he was tired today. We can fix his biggest problem right now, which I believe are the hobbles. That may sound a little odd to you that I'm saying this. I'm a huge proponent for trotting hobbles on horses. White Tiger was working too hard in his hobbles today, and like any athlete that is working against a force, it tired him out. And I think that's what you saw today. And you can see when I moved him, he was coming with a full head of steam, and he just was a little discouraged in the last turn. He was getting tired. I think we can fix that. We're going to take him home and work on that. I'm not that concerned with White Tiger. I knew, you know, this time of year, last year, he struggled a bit, and so did West 52nd, and you know where I'm coming from with this. The allergies were a problem, but they did dissipate, and they will again this year, like they do every year. And I think White Tiger will be a very effective horse for us. Most important thing is to get, I think, work on him and see if we can get him qualified without the trotting hobbles, and I believe we can. Before all this, yesterday we had some qualifiers for the sale. For those of you out there wondering, Screaming Hawk qualified well, not well enough that we're not going to sell him, but well enough that he should do well at the sale. I think he should bring 14 or 15,000 American. Time Tulo qualified in 2 minutes. He's going to be heading to the sale also. Cruising with Angus is back. Qualified without trotting hobbles on and beat me with Screaming Hawk down the lane. Must have won a mile in 2 minutes and a piece, 2-1. He looked good. Beach Boutique qualified good, 58. She's never been one to really whack out a mile herself and, you know, pace hard on the end. She's a grinder and she can get stuff done, but I was happy with her. Considering coming in, she had been in 2.2 2 weeks ago and 2.6 last week. A mile and 58 was a good mile for her. I suspect she's ready to pace 56, 57 at Georgian Downs next Tuesday. I'm not here, but Beach Boutique's very easy to drive. I highly doubt we'll have any issues with, one, finding a driver for her or finding a driver that fits her. She was really, really good yesterday. I was very impressed with her. Then I trained Capistrano afterwards. Capistrano was very, very good. I trained her mile in 2.1, come 28 seconds, but was strong. That left hind was much better on her. I'd say she's somewhere between 90 and 100%. Harry said she was good again this morning. And I was very pleased with her. And then last night, we had a couple of horses that were heading to the sale, race good. One, I'm a little surprised we haven't got any calls on Sunshine Inn. She's worth money. I was happy with what I saw last night. She fits that class and the one above it very, very well. We're going to have to keep an eye on her. I'm not going to let her go for nothing. But at the same time, I do believe that the capital raised from her could be spent in better ways if our clients would like to do that. We'll see. I was happy with what I saw, but again, she just dug down deep and just had to lose. She's just a habitual loser. She just can't win races. She's always the bridesmaid, but that's of her own fruition, right? She got everything. I never so much as whispered to that filly from going into the first turn when I crossed her over quick to coming out of the last turn. I never really even...
Deer right there?
No?
Deer right on the side of the road.
Really? It's a bad area for deer. I never really called on her until...
They were alive.
Yeah. I never really called on her until the head of the lane. I didn't think you were pointing out carcasses to our children. Thank you. I understand that. I know. I got that part. So, Sunshine Inn was good. Put me in a tough spot. I don't think she did enough to stay out of the sale, but I do think she did enough where we're going to have to be very careful what we sell her for. I don't think she's worth giving away, and I'm a little surprised somebody didn't call. I would have taken claiming money for her today, and I really thought that somebody would offer us that. I mean, she doesn't really wear much equipment. She can race on any size track, and she's very well bred, so I am a little bit surprised, and they have a few more days, so I guess we'll see. One horse that definitely climbed out of the sale category was Frontier Cruise. He was up against the wall. He was getting close to me saying, I looked at his lines, 57 at Grand River, a win in 59, not really earth-shaking. A qualifier in 56. Again, enough to stay? I don't know. He went out last night, he looked good, put it on them, backed them up a half in a minute, last half in 56 seconds flat, last quarter in 28-1. But not just the win, not just mathematically how he did it, but how good he looked doing it. He did what he was supposed to do. The one problem I have is he's really studying the paddock. We are going to have to castrate him. We are going to have to castrate him because he did strike at the groom last night, Greg, and hit him. And he was really ornery going out on the track. So we will, I don't know what, we'll race him once or twice more, probably castrate him and turn him out for the year. But I was very impressed with what I saw last night. Considering how close he was to heading to the sale, it was a very opportune time for him to show up. Actually, there's a grassroots in Clinton. For a big horse, he gets around a small track very, very well. There's a grassroots in Clinton next week. That's exactly where he's going to be heading. So Frontier Cruise was safe, and then we raced Elysium Lindy. I thought he raced well. Somebody said, geez, you know, those horses beat him. Those aren't slouches. Go try and buy the horse that won it for $55,000 American. Probably won about $200 for him. That's Luke Blaze' horse. Horse that was second, sure. You know, I think we raced 10 times. Maybe I beat him more than he beats me, but he's an honest preferred two-trotter also. This horse had made a break 2 weeks ago and re-qualified. I think last night was a good mile for Elysium Lindy. I like this horse. I think he did exactly what he was advertised to do. Meat and potatoes, grinder, pretty effective on a B track, and will be effective from time to time at Mohawk. That's what we bought him to do, and that's what I think he'll do. So I was very happy with Elysium Lindy last night also. Then I came here today, White Tiger, we talked about him extensively. And then Stonebridge Simba race huge, just got beat at the wire. Guy said after, a few more steps, I think you win. Pretty sure Dave Pallone knows where the wire is at the Meadows. So he had me measured pretty good. But Simba raced very, very well. Now we're driving through West Virginia on our way. John Denver song? I believe it was John Denver. West Virginia on our way to Scioto Downs. Big night tonight. I think I'm going to go easy on Globetrotting. She's in the final regardless. I'm not going to worry about leaving with her. I just want to get her to float up into position, behave herself, come off the gate with brains in her head, follow the leader, and I think she's got more than enough speed to put it on them anyway. I just want her to do things right. You're going to see her and spend that money, do things very well tonight, proper. I believe James is probably going to spend that money also. These are two fillies that will make it in the final with all likelihood, and Compass Rose definitely will. So, a good day so far. We started it off with Breakfast Television in Ontario. We had a great morning with them. Got some mainstream exposure. And now we are on our way. We left and went to the Meadows, raced 2 horses. And we will end our day. The Brady Bunch, the whole family is going to end our day in Columbus. I'll be back tomorrow night for Spirit of Dio in the final of the Pure Ivory at Mohawk. Take care.